The huge car showroom sparkled with lights. There were billboards and banners everywhere, encouraging visitors to buy a new car. Eliza timidly entered the building, and walking through the lobby, filled with new sparkling cars, she approached the reception desk. Behind the desk, a young woman was looking in the mirror and painted her lips. Eliza coughed softly. The administrator squinted her eyes unhappily. "What do you want?" she asked rudely. "I'm here to... I was sent for an internship from the head office. Here are my papers," mumbled Eliza, embarrassed, and held out prepared papers. "Brandon, take the new girl," shouted the administrator to someone in the hall, while continuing her lipstick, as if perfectly outlining the curve of her lips was more important to her than everything happening around her. A dapperly dressed young man walked lazily toward the reception desk. He said hello and gave Eliza an appraising look. "I'm Brandon, senior manager. Are you joining us for an internship?" Eliza nodded, and Brandon told her to follow him while he would be showing her around. He led her into the depths of the car dealership, past the managers sitting on the couch, looking intently at their phone screens. Eliza looked around the showroom and saw several confused visitors standing by the cars and needing help. "Why doesn't anyone approach the customers?" she asked. "They seem to need help." "Oh, come on," waved Brandon. "Are they real buyers? No, people like that don't buy. They just walk around all day looking at the cars, asking thousands of questions and distracting us. And then they leave without buying anything." "Distract you from what?" didn't understand Eliza. Brandon got angry. "Oh, if you're the smartest one here, then go and start working. You'll learn in the process." Eliza immediately approached the man examining the inexpensive SUV. As they talked, the girl expertly explained the advantages and disadvantages of the car. At the same time, she suggested a higher class car, and finally the man made up his mind and went over to the purchase of the car he liked. The managers watched the intern's first sale with amazement. "You've got it! Well done," whistled Brandon. "Congratulations! A minor client, but at least something." The girl stood silent. Suddenly, a solid man who smelled like a lot of money entered the hall. All the managers, including Brandon, rushed to the potential customer, vying with one another to oblige him. A man wrinkled his nose in displeasure and passed all the cars, examining the exhibited items disapprovingly. At last he silently shook his head and left the showroom. The managers scattered, frustrated around the hall, still ignoring the other buyers, who were more modestly dressed. Only one young man worked with them, answering questions and offering options. Most of the clients were leaving, promising to think about the purchase. But the guy wasn't discouraged and continued to do his job. Eliza asked Brandon who he was. "Sean, the new guy. It's like he's got an all in one place, always running around, making it look like he needs more work than anyone else." Suddenly, an elderly, modestly dressed woman entered the showroom. She was looking around, squinting for someone to help her. When she saw the girl at the receptionist's desk, she approached her with hope and asked for help. "What do you need? Do you want me to call you an ambulance?" laughed the administrator contemptuously. "No, thank God, I feel fine. I want to buy a car." The surprised girl shouted to the managers, "Guys, we have a new customer here." They laughed in turn and started making jokes towards the bewildered elderly woman. Sean, who heard these obscene jokes, became angry. "Aren't you ashamed of yourselves? She is an aged person. At least have some respect for her grey hair. Don't you have grandmothers yourself?" "How kind and noble you are," said Brandon with a sneer. "She reeks of a village and a small pension. If you need it, then go yourself. It's a waste of time." Sean only shook his head reproachfully and hurried to the elderly woman who, without getting any help, had already managed to get out of the car dealership. She tiredly sat down on a bench nearby, where Sean and Eliza finally approached her. "Are you feeling unwell?" inquired Sean sympathetically. "Oh dear, I am so old that I rarely feel well now, so please don't worry," smiled the elderly woman. "And why did you come to us?" inquired Eliza. The woman sighed heavily and began her story. Mrs. Hudson lost her only son because of a stupid quarrel. He had gone to work in the north, and from his rare phone calls, she knew that her son lived with a woman and had a son. Relationships warmed a little over time, and the son even promised to bring his family over soon and introduce them to his mother. But it wasn't meant to be. One day, a strange woman called her and informed her of her son's tragic death, and asked permission to bury him in the town where he lived with her and their son. Out of grief, Mrs. Hudson had a heart attack, and she spent more than a month in the hospital and didn't get to the funeral. It had been 15 years since then. The elderly lady had never seen her grandson. Her health condition didn't allow her to travel or fly such great distances, but she stubbornly saved a certain amount from every pension. Mrs. Hudson had a cherished dream. She knew that when her grandson would grow up, he would want to come and meet his grandmother. That's when she would give him an expensive gift. Long ago, she had already decided to buy a car for him before his visiting. For 15 years of frugality and a modest life, she had accumulated quite an impressive sum. And yesterday her grandson, who had turned 18, called and warned her that he would come. "So I thought I'd come over and pick out a car for him, but unfortunately I don't know anything about it at all," finished the elderly woman sadly. Sean stood up decisively and held out his hand to Mrs. Hudson. "Luckily, I know everything about cars. Let's go. I'll show and tell you everything. Together, we'll choose something worthwhile for your grandson." Eliza watched with a smile as Sean, carefully supporting the elderly woman by the elbow, led her to the rows of shiny cars, along the way telling her about them as simply as possible. The other managers began to make silly jokes with all their might. Eliza heard all this, but didn't answer, and only watched Sean's work from a distance. At last, Mrs. Hudson, on the advice of the young man, chose a rather expensive sports car and went to the administrator to formalize the purchase. "Listen, Paula," said Sean to the girl, "could we give Mrs. Hudson a discount? After all, she's a pensioner, and she pays in full, not in installments." "What do you mean, a discount?" grudgingly muttered the girl. "There's no such rule. She won't become our regular customer." The elderly woman confirmed frustratedly that of course not, because she had been saving up for this car for 15 years and was not going to buy one more. Then Eliza offered to call the owner and ask her if she would accept it. "Are you out of your mind? I'm not going to alarm serious people on such a worthless issue, because I still need my job. If you need it, you can call," said Paula grudgingly. Then Eliza turned to Sean. "Sean, I hope you're not afraid. Call and ask." Sean nodded and took the phone number of the owner of the car dealership from the administrator. When Eliza's phone rang, no one paid any attention. "Hello," said Sean, greeting. "Miss Cullen? This is the manager, Sean, from the car dealership. There's such a problem." "Yes, Sean, I know what your problem is." All the managers looked dumbfounded at the intern, who answered Sean on the phone. "Paula, immediately arrange a 15% discount for Mrs. Hudson, and from tomorrow, you're fired." Then she turned to the shocked managers, led by Brandon. "To you, my dear employees, I declare a reprimand with a note in your personal file and deprive you of a bonus. This is the last warning. I do not need such lazy and arrogant employees like you, so I am giving you one last chance. Sean, thank you for your excellent work. You are a kind, sensitive and caring person and professional. Starting today, you are appointed senior manager. Do you agree?" Sean nodded in amazement. Mrs. Hudson thanked Eliza with a smile and congratulated Sean. A year had passed since that memorable day. Eliza visited her salon frequently, no longer hiding. Sean organized the work of the managers perfectly, and the car dealership began to bring in more profit. Together with Eliza, he often stayed in private, discussing all the new suggestions for improving the quality of the car sales. Very soon, Sean felt that he no longer had enough working meetings with Eliza. He was blushing and embarrassing himself in front of her, and then scolded himself with the last words, "I'm a mumbler. Why is it so hard to confess my love?" And then he always answered himself, "It's useless. I'm just a manager in her business. I'm no match for her. It's better not to shame." One day, Eliza invited Sean to meet at a restaurant to discuss business. At the appointed time, Sean was already waiting for her, and suddenly he decided that he should either confess today or forget about her forever. Eliza looked as simple and elegant as ever, and that only emphasized her beauty. "Sean, I am very pleased with your work and have decided to appoint you as the director of the car dealership. Do you accept my offer?" Eliza expected joy, a satisfied look, whatever else, but what followed? "I'm sorry, Eliza, I have to decline. I want you to sign my letter of resignation." "But why?" said Eliza in amazement. "What happened, Sean? Have I offended you in some way?" With burning eyes, the man uttered in a voice torn with excitement, "Eliza, I can no longer keep my feelings inside. I love you. I fell in love from the first time I met you, when I thought you had come for an internship." Eliza slowly blurted out a smile. "Oh, is that a problem? I've been waiting 6 months for you to confess, and it was inconvenient to encourage you. You're too slow at expressing your feelings, Sean." The young man looked at Eliza confusedly. "So you're not turning me down?" "Of course not. More to say, I have feelings for you too, but it's embarrassing for a girl to be the first to talk about her feelings." "Well, then I'm quitting all the more," said Sean firmly and resolutely. "You're the boss, I'm the hired help. It's a misalliance. I must first earn my name and fortune to be worth